Usually, okay, so full transparency, recording has actually just now started, so if you've been here listening,
all right. Again, apologize for the voice. Waiting on NQ to kind of break above this level. It looks like we've got a nice little, wedge. We're breaking out of the larger wedge formation that we've had for the last several days. The bottom trend line has been there for quite some time, since Wednesday the 2nd. So since last Wednesday, so a whole week. We got, sorry. We got a lot of really good action, price action right along this level. Although I may, again, just to kind of point this out, I may wind up adjusting this 1 hour level one more time, just because it seems like yesterday might have not been a great reason to move that 1 hour level and adjust it. Sometimes I kind of broke my own rule there. Usually I at least wait one more day. But that would have been a great play right off the top of where I had that 1 hour level at. And so I'm going to go back and see what that looks like to readjust it. But right now we've got, try to break out the lower part of it, broke out at the top of it, sitting back over right now. But it's been super respectful for on these trend lines up until last night. And so, I knew we were going to have to break out of it before the end of day, because the lines intersect at like 2 p.m. this afternoon. So it's not surprising to me that they didn't take it all the way to the very end of this. Looks like we are going to try to swing back up some today. If we can get back out of this mess right here, I would love to make a new higher high and then hold above this level and then make a higher low somewhere in this region. If it comes right back down and bounces off the top of this, then great, I'll go long. If it not, we keep going up and then we pull back. The next decent pullback we see, I'll take this level and move it back up and use that support, that strong support, and then hopefully wait for another retest on that one. That'll be my long play for the day, probably. Just to kind of go over the penny stocks that we had this morning. They did. Top Step did drop. Trade Evade, but that was just recently. Yeah, I still trade Evade with Apex. Top Step X is what I use for Top Step anyway, so that doesn't really affect me, but it could affect some people. But yeah, you can no longer get a Trade Evade account through Top Step. They're getting rid of it. Not because Trade Evade's trash, just because they want people to use their platform. So Shook P, man, Shook P freaking break and retest right here over break and close and open over 107. So your entry should have been about here. And then of course it came right back down and bounced off the 9 EMA. This is why this is why we like to see the VWAP in 21 a lot closer. Or at least have some of these EMAs a little closer, because like it's basically 19 points on the pullback. So if you got in a little lower, maybe you were a little slow in the draw, maybe you were still in this, but then of course it came right back up and now it's breaking out again, basically the exact same price. And so stop loss. Now we've got this level again. Shook P just seems to be a little on the crazy side. So let's go look at CLDI. We called the break of 63 cents on this one. Nice little break over VWAP right here, which I wouldn't have recommended anyway, but it was like over this trend level. That's all. The only thing I really think about it. It was really nice and smooth from last night. Pushed all the way down, down, down. Very respectful to this trend line. So when we broke above it and pulled back and held above it, you could have tried to make a play from here up, but it didn't offer a whole lot of room. Even like halfway through this level back up to here is only 10%, which is not bad, but when you're looking for that breakout right there, you still want to make sure you have plenty of room on a VWAP break or a trend blind break. That will actually give you time for a play. So really with closed and open was way up here, which is way over 10%, but as you can see, it did pull right back into our loading zone. So if you happen to take this one, you should be somewhere, somewhere between like 10 and 60% on this one. Like 57% was the absolute high from like the bottom of that pullback right there, right? So if you braved it, then congratulations, CLDI, definitely a winner on this one. If you had waited for it to re-break this after the pullback, that would have been okay too. There's lots of different ways you can play. Nice little close and open. You can see it had been just outside of your 10% on this one as well, but it did wick right back down into it. So if you were hoping to kind of grab that one, it was a fast mover this morning, but a mover nonetheless, and it was really, really nice. Evo K, nice, just popped up on the list. We'll go back and look at that in a second. BMGL, it didn't do anything. Sorry, it sucked. Then it never broke out, so you didn't lose any money, didn't make any money. It was just kind of one of those things. What was the other one? We texted out. Pro K. That was a beauty. Yeah, look at this. So, Pro K was one we played yesterday. It was a little shaky. Only gave you about 12% on the initial breakout. Pulled back. It may have stopped you out if you were looking for like 15 and 15, and that was your risk. That was your reward. If you were looking for 10, you probably nailed it. Or if you just saw it pulling back and decided to get yourself out a little early, I would not have, no one would have faulted you there just because of how far above those EMAs we were. But it did come right back down, pushed right back, did re-break that 142 again right here. You could have gotten in right there, or you could have played the break of the top. Either one would have been an absolute banger yesterday. Pro-K just absolutely took off. But in this morning, same thing. I was looking for this 410, 415 high. Came back up, got rejected. And then this beautiful little move right here, which was only like 5% above breakout, 4.8. So that would have been a great move right there. Anything in that area. And you're looking at a potential 27 or 28% move off of that. Hello? Uh-oh. Somebody's got their mic unmuted. Hey, Roger, I think I could hear your conversation, buddy. Roger, can you mind muting yourself so I don't have to, buddy? I don't want to have to server mute you. Thank you. Anybody else who's unable to unmute themselves, that means your server muted, and I would be glad to unmute you if you want to drop a message in the thing. You just got to promise to keep your mic muted for me. I'd appreciate that. So Pro K, definitely the nicest play we've had today. KZIA, I saw it move up, and then I saw it dump right back down below VWAP. I didn't even bother looking at it a second time. It's just kind of doing whatever it wants to. Evo K, very nice move right here. I like to see what happens. If we can stay above VWAP, that'd be great. Or if we come back to test that 9 EMA, even better. I'm waiting for that 5-minute candle to close red before I make any decisions on where my breakout's going to be. Sometimes it's really hard when you got stuff that's just like flying. You wanna just jump in. Of course, if you're just scalping the crap out of it, you could definitely just buy in right at 641, 643, somewhere between 641 and 643, and keep a 3% stop loss and just try to push something out of it. And if that's the way, if you're really good at playing like that, then good. If not, then I would highly suggest just waiting. As long as this candle closes red, 640 is the ultimate breakout on this one. So obviously 680 is another thing we were looking for. Let's pull back a little further. All right, so yeah, so we're about really like 640. Look at right here. That's that daily high right there. That's that consolidation right there. So we've been up here before. There's rejection right there. We really need this to get back over 640. 640 is definitely a good, strong place. Might have a little rejection right back up here, but that's where you see that 680 probably getting rejected from. But I think if we can get over 640, this should be a fairly decently safe play. And this was so long ago. Like this was like October 29th right here. This was November 8th. This back here was August 1st from last year. So Let's just see what happens on this. And I think we got plenty of room to kind of move and do some stuff. 640 on Evo K. Let's see what we do here. Oh, look at that. Oh, I was just about to type it in the chat. Oh, geez. Nope, never mind. We gotta wait. Dang it. It does want to push back up there, though. We are really far above those. That's fine. Not a big deal. Nice big push back off of that level again. 640 is going to be a booger. All right, yeah, so here we go. Here we go. I still like, oh man, if we break back down below here, I don't really know. I mean, we've already trashed that level right there. So let's just see what happens if we can hold above any of these. Intersection between these two down here. And then let's go look at that 1 hour level one more time. I'll tell you why I changed it last night. And then why I think I'm moving it back. I don't have a lot of data to work with here. Just the last several days. You know, we don't have anything to the left of us. It's not like I can go back over here and check like where we were last time we were up here, right? So I'm just kind of going off of like as much data as I can gather at this point. And I really kind of was looking at this going, okay, well, we've got a little bit of a shoulder here, even though like this is obviously a big push up right here. And then we got some defense here, some defense here, some defense here, some defense here. And then of course it does chop through it, but you can tell even this, I'm kind of looking at this going, okay, well, I mean like the candles all closed until last night, right? The candles were all closing inside of this and trying to push back up. However, unfortunately, I feel like maybe I was mistaken. So what I think I'm going to do is, hold on, give me 2 seconds. All right, there we go. So what I feel like I want to do here on this week long is I think I'm going to look and see if I can tidy this up just a hair. I think I actually had it pulled up into here, which is fine. I think this is the level I was looking at. I think that's where I moved it from. So let's do this. And let's get rid of this one for now. And let's do this. Let's look at one more. I want to see if I can make a small one. I think we could probably... This totally makes sense right here. I don't know if I should be making a 1 hour level here or not, but... It looks like there's definitely a struggle right in this area. Let's get back and look at it on the 5 minute. All right. So yesterday still would have been a complete mess, right? You're still looking at rejections off the top, higher highs, higher lows. No, sorry, higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, lower highs, you know, whatever. And then like the lows were just kind of all over the place. But I think it was just trying to stay inside of this parameter right here. I would have definitely taken some of these plays. Very nice move back down to the downside from that one. Push, push down. Push, push down. A little sloppy after hours. It's fine. Yeah, I think this is exactly where I had the other one. I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly where I had the other one. I looked at it. When I can go back and try to redraw a level, and it winds up in the exact same place that I had the previous level. That's probably a pretty good spot that I just need to go. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. I didn't like it yesterday, but that doesn't mean I get to move it. So let's look and see what we get today. This level absolutely crushed it after we slowed down yesterday. Bounce, bounce, bounce. And you can see the battle ensue. Bounce. Right. So, not absolutely perfect, but I mean, no level is going to be absolutely perfect. You're going to find days and stuff like and just crazy stuff that happens. Oh, what are we doing? Are we coming back down in my zone here? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, yeah, Joe. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it's top left-hand corner of the chat. If somebody's not seeing my screen right now, go to where you can see everybody, and then go to the one that says Philip G Live. So, also, if you want to get my attention, you can @ me, and it'll be a lot more obvious. Like, I'll see it a lot easier. All right. Not necessarily the play I had in mind. Let's see here. Looking for a rejection here. Push back up. With a stop loss back down this way. Nice. Keep it. All right. If it pulls back here, that's where I'd like to get the entry at. But if you're gonna chase it, just keep in mind that you're probably still looking for a 2-to-1 off the level, which puts your take profit right about. Wait, where? What in the world? Oh, I hit the wrong one. I was like, what in the world? Doesn't make any sense. There we go. All right, so you're already a 2-to-1 at that point from that play. So if you wanted to, I went ahead and got in. That was a little risky, but I want to go ahead and take some profits, and I'm going to take my stop loss, move it to break even from wherever I'm at, which puts me right about here. Yeah, I got in real late on that one, but nice push back up here. Come on, baby. Yes. Looking for some resistance around here. If we can get back up here, that'd be great. I think this is the level they're trying to take out. Even though I think this was just a failed attempt. So push back up here, and I move my stop loss up. I got about 10 points in here, so I'm going to put my stop loss at 5 points in the money. Just kind of watch it there.
Hey, Phil.
Uh-huh. What's up?
So I see that there's 3-star news at 2 p.m. FOMC minutes, it says.
Yeah.
Are they going to be talking about the interest rates?
They're going to be talking about the interest rates, but I did look it up, and it looks like we're not getting another interest rate decision until like the third quarter of the month. So I think this is just going to be. I'm about to get stopped out with 5 points right here. I think this is just going to be like a review of just kind of everything they've already talked about. So it shouldn't be any new news. But anytime the Fed talks, you do want to be careful because they could come out with some random piece of information that maybe it wasn't made clear before or whatever. So,
all right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then continuation, which is fine. I jumped in that play a little late, and I should have had more room to play. Push come to shove, I probably should have just left it, a little lower, maybe back down here instead of just having the points. But it's fine, no big deal. I chased that play. I was kind of outside of my rules a little bit, so Very nice pushback off that level, though. Yeah, I think all the 3-star news like this week is super thin on news. Sometimes when that happens, you can have other news that comes out that could, yeah. See, if I would have gotten in on this where I was supposed to, and moved my stop loss to where I should have, I'd still be in this. This is what happens when you chase. You're constantly on the defense. This is why people like screw up the penny stock trades. Because you're like, oh, no. You're either getting in too early or too late, or you're getting out too early or too late. You're not letting it play out. And when you don't just take the trades when you're supposed to, it's hard to be consistent and keep making that money. So I like to see it close and open again, and then hold above this level, and then I'll probably go long again if it gives me if I like the way it looks. All right, this is the next play I'm looking to take. Not loving it yet. I'll let you know if I take it. I just haven't taken it. So. Oh, I did take a play. Look at that. I had a freaking A. That's funny. I had a play set up down here on my Apex account already. In case it ever came back down here, I never canceled it, and it grabbed it. I'm long. That's hilarious. Hey, I'll take it. So I did take this play, just not on Top Step the way I should have. I don't like the fact that we're kind of diddling right here underneath this previous attempt. I mean, it looks like it might actually try to do the play, like getting them back down here, exiting back up here. You can tell it's not a lot of points. I mean, that's just a 5-point move right there on NQ. But with $20, 5 points times 20, that's $100. That's, not bad. And to risk 50 to get 100, not too shabby. Very nice, very nice. I think probably it'll probably come back and retest this level again if we're lucky. And then that's when I'll try to get into an actual play. Oh, I just realized I'm on the 2-minute. Dang it. Well, cool. I took that on the 2-minute. I guess that worked out really well. I just realized. All right, here we go. EVOC. So yeah, that candle obviously did not end red. That's the first red candle we've seen. So breakout right now on EVOC would be $7.65. However, 15% from even just the breakout level doesn't even come close to the view. I guess it kind of does come close to the view up a little bit, but like I really would like to see those EMAs average up a little more. I want to see some more volume coming to this. I want to see that view up push a little higher. That would make this a little smoother for me, a little easier to swallow. But 765 is technically the breakout. Let's just watch and see what happens. Evoke, Pharma receives notice of allowance from U.S. PTO for U.S. patient application coverage use of GIMOTI in patients with moderate to severe symptoms of gastroparesis. Is that paralysis of the gut?
Basically.
Huh. Interesting. That's cool. I have heard that there have been quite a rise in number of cases for gut paralysis, like intestinal and stomach and stuff like that. That's no bueno. No bueno. All right, we're coming up to all this mess back up here too. Lots of resistance right in this area. I do still think it wants to go up.
So I'm over with the glasses. Plus, ain't hurt because he a savage. So many dead out, so many ashes. You ain't catch that. I can't pass the shooter stay strap. I don't need my. I'll put a belt right to they behind injury Lord.
Oh yeah. Spit it. All right. I'm
not me. I'm not answering that. You're answering. You can pull this card out in any industry to close any deal in sales. For example, if you're a terrible sales rep, you're in a section. Why should we go with you?
How do I like Zep? Somebody's got some commercials going on in the background. How do I like Zep?
Your way that'll end up closing the deal for you. If your client asks you, well, why should we go with you? You reverse it back on them and say,
Who
well,
is
what
that?
things are
Assassin.
a whole lot of that. Reverse it. Okay, well, why are those things important? We really
Assassin.
good
Would you please mute your microphone if you're going to watch other videos? I'd appreciate it.
Sales reps don't talk, they ask.
Please. Hello? Check. Assassin. All right, cool. All right. Took care of that. ZEPP. Oh, that was the one that we were looking at yesterday. It took off yesterday. Yeah, I don't like Zep. I do think it was a really nice play yesterday from pre-market breakout. I don't know if that. Let me look at this. Yeah, yeah, it was a great, even that first breakout never even hit 15% drawdown. So, I mean, I think yesterday would have been a great time to play it. I think we've already kind of pushed ZEP really hard. What kind of news do they have? Oh, it doesn't. No news. Just that it moved. Thanks for that. I don't know. I mean, I don't really see a whole lot that I love about it. The volume this morning is absolute trash. So, I mean, it's about average. Yesterday, the volume really picked up during the day. So relative volume was much, much higher yesterday during the day when it ran. And now we're kind of, we made a little push early this morning. And now the volume is back to like, hundreds and maybe 1,000. Right? 11,000, 3,000, 1,000, 5,000, 400. 1,200. Yeah, I'm not really loving ZEP right now for anything really. I will say, yeah, there we go. It's holding the fib lines pretty well. Came right back down into the golden pocket from the initial push from yesterday morning. And sitting on 50, and then it sat back down on sat back down on top of the 618, sat back down on top of the 50, tried to take it, didn't. Sitting on top of the 38.2. So, like, if you wanted to try to swing this later into the day or maybe into Thursday morning, I would just watch my levels right here. I'd watch the $5.32 level, $5.76 level, and make sure it didn't drop below this little, draw a little trend line out, get something that's decent, that makes a lot of sense. I kind of left that low out right there, but it feels like this is a pretty decent level, like pretty decent line that it looks like it's trying to hold. So if we break below it, or if we trade sideways across it, I wouldn't hold it for much longer after that, because it probably means it's just lost momentum. But we are making lower highs, so that's not fun. So I'd like to see it get back above the 632 and then back above the 660, and then maybe we can retry for like yesterday's highs eventually in the next day or two maybe. But I would pick a good entry so I can keep my stop loss relatively tight. But as far as breakout strategy, no, I don't like it. All right, here, EVOC trying to break out right now. It is a super risky play, so I'm not going to text this out. But while we're watching this here live, we'll see what happens. Still waiting on NQ to give me something a little better than this. I mean, do I think we could have probably got in right here? Yeah. I mean, if I were watching this, maybe I would have tried for a small position, as I bet that 5 EMA is pretty close behind where this is. And we came back to retest the top of this structure, and now we're continuing up. However, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a structured play. But it was a nice little pullback right here, and then continuation. But it's not typically what I go for. And I think also just the fact that we've been so choppy this morning. I don't know if I would have trusted that stop loss back here, because I'm hoping for a pullback a little further. so that I can get a decent bounce. Eight minutes till market open. I tell you what I'm going to do, because I'm probably not going to be trading anything like 8 minutes until market open anyway. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this recording up, so because we've got some pretty decent information. That way we don't have a 2-hour long thing that we're kind of watching. I think I dropped some pretty decent information.